Good afternoon. Welcome to Linda Sue Plants for You. Today, as you probably can guess by what you're looking at, we're going to talk about a string of pearls / string of beads, also known as Senecio. I believe it's pronounced Rollianus. Senecio Rollianus. A lot of people have expressed on YouTube that they have a really hard time getting these to grow. In addition to that, I've noticed that when they do find them, and they're hard to come by these days, they seem to be extremely expensive, and I'm not sure why that is. My experience has been that they grow very quickly, and so for that reason, what I'm going to do is try and, just give you hints of what I do, and also to let you know that because of that, the difficulty in finding them and the expense of them, I am going to do my best to propagate some for giveaway for in the future. And I'm not sure how long this is going to take, but I'm going to give it my best shot, and then I'll have a drawing of some type, and I'll be giving away some string of pearls because they're beautiful plants, and for people who want them, I want them to have them. So that's my plan, my goal. Wish me luck on that, okay? And in the meantime, I want to just give you a few pointers. Now, I did purchase a string of pearls a number of years ago, and because the directions were low light, low to medium light, and keep it out of direct sun and what have you, well, I ended up rotting mine out, and I had since realized that it really, the top of the soil needs to be in light, because they do rot out real quickly at the top of the soil level. That was confirmed for me when I was watching a YouTube video by Plantarina. And if you haven't seen her videos, you really, really need to tune into her shows because they're awesome. Her plants are huge. They're all over. It's really like, you really feel like you're in a jungle. And she does very good at explaining so many different things, actually. Too many for me to mention here. But Plantarina is the name of her YouTube video. So go check her out. But she did too. She was explaining in one of her videos how she had lost or almost lost her string of beads, and she realized too that it was because she had her plant, the part where the soil is, on top of a windowsill, I believe she said, and that it wasn't getting enough sunlight up there. So that was something I discovered already a couple years ago, and I was so happy to see that she confirmed that, because that seems to be the issue. Now, that being said, when I have two of my string of pearl plants, I have on a windowsill. The white one, that one, I have an east and south window. I have corner windows, and it's in the east side of the east-south window. There are long strings that hang below that windowsill, and as you can see, they're just as plump as the ones on top, and they don't get any light at all. So I think what they mean is, and when I was researching the origin of this plant, I believe it was South Africa, if I'm not mistaken, and that when they grow, they're kind of a ground cover, and they grow under story, under other trees, plants, and vegetation. So the key is that the sunlight gets that top of that soil. I know that a number of people have mentioned letting the plant dry out completely before watering it. I have not had luck with that method, but again, it really depends a lot on your interior atmosphere, the amount of humidity, you have in your home, the temperature of your home, the type of soil that you have. So for me, that wasn't a good option. As soon as it starts to dry, and sometimes before that, when it just feels damp, I will water just the top of the soil. And for this pot here, I use about 1/3 of a cup. And, whoa, so sorry for that. By the way, this is the first time I'm using my tripod. And so that's why I just kicked it when I walked past it. So you can laugh at me or with me, whatever you choose, but be patient with me, okay? All right. So this right here, that one is in a south window, and that also hangs below the windowsill. And as you can see, those beads are beautiful from top to bottom. There are a lot of beads in this top one, in the top of this plant, and those are rooting. Now some people will say to put your, wrap your this up around in here and then pin it down to the soil. I have not had luck with that method. It causes rot for me. I do wrap it up in there, but I just leave it in there, and the roots find their way to the soil, and it keeps the beads from rotting out. So that's how I do it. And again, everybody's methods, there's more than one way to skin a cat, as they say, and whatever works for you. But for me, that's what I do. My other method is to cut one of these, and I always cut up here. The reason for that is wherever you cut, that's where it's going to branch out. Now, if you like that look and you want this look, then go ahead and cut it down here. If you want one single strand coming straight down, then cut it up here. Because again, wherever you cut it, that's where it's going to branch. And I have found in the past too that if you cut too far down and you get too many heavy branches, it puts a lot of stress on that one strand that's up there. So for me, I'm going to not do that anymore. I'm going to start cutting up here again like I did years ago, and just giving myself one straight branch coming down right next to each other. The next thing I would like to talk about is the water propagation, which that does work as well, and I've had very good luck with that. What I don't like about the water propagation is when you have to put it in the soil. My method is simply, I sterilize my scissors with rubbing alcohol and cotton. And again, let's just talk about that for a minute. Sometimes I get lazy and I don't pull that stuff out and I just snip it, and then sometimes it'll root and sometimes it won't. And I'm thinking it might have something to do with the fact that I didn't sterilize the scissors first, because we don't know what's on there, and you can't see the bacteria, so you don't know until it doesn't root. So for me, it's just, I've gotten to the point where it's not worth doing unless I'm going to take the time to just do each step, which is simply wiping off the scissors with the rubbing alcohol. It takes maybe a minute and a half to gather my things and to do it the right way. So that's what I do. Then I have several different water propagation going here. These are little jars that I got at a it's a science and industry store where they have all these off-the-wall things you can buy. They have a lot of medical equipment and just, I don't know, a little of everything. And my husband loves going to that store, so I tag along every now and then, and I get these little jars. They're like 15 to 30 cents a piece, depending on the size. And they're good for a single rooting method. And then this jar I like because it has a wide bottom and a smaller top. So the balance there, when I put these in, it allows this to kind of rest on here, and it keeps it from falling out of the jar. Usually when I root these, I will try to take off at least half of the pearls before putting it in the water. If you leave too many of them on, it will cause it to be top heavy, and it'll want to pull it out of the jar or whatever you're rooting it in. And they do root very quickly in water. I have had times where within 2 or 3 days, I've got a 4 to 5 inch root on there. The problem is, and what I don't like about it is, it's such a fine root, and when you go to put it in the soil, you have to make the hole so big to make sure that that root goes down in there, or you have to take a tool and push it down in, and then you take a chance on breaking it off. But both methods have worked for me. I have just come to prefer this method, where I just take this and I wrap it around and I just snug it down a little bit, and then I let it go. I don't secure it with any kind of clips or pins or anything like that. So the other thing I wanted to talk about is lighting. And I know I talked about it in the beginning. It's really, really important to get that light at the top of here, especially when you're trying to root new pieces. They need that warmth and that bright light, but they also need to be kept moist. Now, right now, mine is feeling dry to the touch, and I never let it get like that. I did it because I was hoping that you would be able to see a difference in the sheen. And I'm noticing that it's not really showing up on the camera. But what will happen is you'll lose the sheen. The beads will be very shiny when they're healthy. When they're starting to get stressed and needing water, they'll get dull. I don't know if you can see that here, but and then at some point they'll actually shrivel. You don't want to wait till it gets to that point, though, because that is very stressful on the plant. So I try to keep that moist, and depending on the time of year, that can be watered once a week, or as of right now, I'm watering it every other day. And when it gets full sun, when we have a full day of sun, sometimes I have to water it twice a day. But again, I'm only using a little bit of water, so don't let this big pot fool you. I do have drainage holes under here, and this is filled with dirt, but I only put about maybe a half a cup of water, just enough to wet this much of the soil. On the smaller pots, then obviously I use a little less water. So the key for me here is just to keep the top 2 inches or so, 2.5, maybe 3, evenly moist. And it's working, folks. This plant is growing like crazy. So anyways, that's the lighting. We covered the watering. We covered the propagation. So I guess that's everything. If you have any questions for me, please put them in the comments section. I'm going to be doing an update on this, and again, I am going to be doing a lot of cuttings and a lot of propagating on this plant between now and the end of summer. And I am really hoping that before then I will have some healthy rooted string of pearls that I can share with my YouTube friends. So I guess that'll be it for today. I hope you all have a nice weekend. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And if you have, thank you so much. And thank you to those few of you who have left comments. I'd really love to hear from you, to know that y'all are watching me out there and enjoying the videos. If there's anything that you would like to see more of or less of, or you have any hints for me, I would be happy to hear those as well. And I guess that will be it for today. I hope to see you soon. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, hit the like button, and until next time, bye now.